Yep, probably going to get to see them. And that's a high-level time trial strat. Like, most players, when they're doing Frosty Village, don't do that. But when you're at that top levels, you will be going for it.
Yeah, because those like hundredths or tenths of a second really matter to get to those levels.
Yep. All right. Looks like the players are off. And their streams will be synced as soon as possible.
It's working.
Yep. All right, here we go. Every time I say that, I want to say it in Peach's voice, but I do not do a good Peach impression.
That's fair.
Yep.
That's, my wife is sleeping.
Yes.
I would go for it. Well, most of the crazy impressions that I do, I have to do at very high volumes so that I can actually get my throat the weird things it's supposed to. Toad is the worst offender.
Yeah. Both players making their way through Greenwood Village. Looks like Chloral got a 25 to Atomic's 27. Both players had a bit of a, perhaps a rougher lap.
I saw a couple bonks on both sides.
Yeah.
But it looks like we're still going along at a pretty good clip here. Plus 2 seconds like in the first course. Not really make a whole lot of a difference.
Nope.
A lot of courses.
Looks like this lap is going to give a bit more of a buffer. Looks like an extra couple of seconds in the favor of Chloral for this. I know Atomic, I think, has only gotten like 1 or so practice runs, and he also opts to try and go for that red balloon or the blue balloon in the first tunnel area, while Chloral opts to pass it, as that is what you do in time trials. Because and if you do it correctly and you don't really lose that much speed comparatively to going for the balloon, then definitely going to be in your favor for speed and being faster. But now we're on to Walrus Cove, as this route is very much been optimized, so that way we can end up doing the Dino Domain Trophy at the end of the run.
Which is just a good feeling, because the main thing about these vehicle percent runs is being able to menu in between the courses. So being able to finish with the Dino is just really nice. Ash A, all the courses.
Yep. Saves a lot of menuing time, which is always nice.
Less
So let's see. So Atomic was using his blue balloon. I guess he decided he needed to take a bit of a hop over there on the ice. A bit unfortunate, honestly. Obviously he didn't obviously intend to do that. But I was gonna say there's a difference in their blue balloon use at the end of the round, where Chloral is using a strat where you boost up to kind of like the hill area that you're going to see Atomic go over right now. He boosts about there to get all the way over to where the zipper area is, while Atomic's going to boost right before the boost to try and get a double boost. As we see Chloral do that, he's going to get, looks like a 123, and Atomic struggling heavily on this track. This track is very kind of difficult for people who are kind of just getting back into the game. This track is really brutal. But then all these early tracks, I'd say primarily besides Greenwood Village, that track is decently consistent. But these next 3 that you do, Walrus Cove, Everfrost Peak, and Space Dust, are extremely tough and unforgiving tracks.
For sure. Which is good that they're in the beginning of the run then.
Yes.
Because when you're trying for those best times, it's easy to be able to reset after the first couple courses.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, Chloral got a nasty long prospect. But beyond that, blew the exit out of the cave.
Yep. Definitely. I think what happened there was he just had a bad angle, a bit of a bad angle going into that section. Able to straighten out, I would have just kept drifting straight into the wall there. Nice. We're gonna see the zipper boost, zipper into another boost. Wow, a 21 lap. Luckily, there's the blue balloon here to make it so that way you can boost through this next section here and just grab the blue balloon at the end. And wow, such control. Chloral is showing very good control in the car, honestly.
Yeah, and this course is really nice too, because
oh my god,
if you avoid those
is
walls,
awesome.
Getting all those blue balloons and all the boost tracks is basically just like a stringing boost throughout the entire course. It's almost plain.
Yep. Okay, so I see Atomic was taking a different use of the balloon. He was trying to use it to actually boost into the zipper. Instead of just hitting the car boot, instead of hitting the ground zipper in the cave and then just flying, he was opting another route for it.
Looks like Atomic's having a real rough time, which honestly it makes sense. EP is primarily is originally a plane course. It's not really made for car. With all the different hills and bumps and such, it makes it very difficult to keep a correct angle. Yeah. Especially since with all these hills, the game might change your drift angle and direction. And it looks like Atomic stuff like that.
All right, so here we go. We have now both players are on Space Dust. Chloral is about 2 laps ahead at this point. Oh no, Atomic made a menuing error. He actually just started the race in the default plane track, so he has to restart in the car. So that is going to be really rough. He's pretty much a little over 2 laps behind.
We'll have to see how he does going through this course, because this is another really tricky car course with all the hills and bumps.
Yeah, this is probably the most, for me, the car for EP, for Everfrost and for Space Dust, it's definitely my least. It's probably my worst vehicle for both. For both tracks. Car is my worst vehicle. So I can sympathize with not liking to play these, like for having a rough time on these tracks.
Exactly. Yeah. Looking at this gameplay on both sides, like they're both very accomplished players, and they're both doing a really good job. It's just courses are killers, and they're really good. They're really big separators, and a good separator turn.
Yeah. So we have Chloral on Dark Moon Caverns. It looks like he's gonna have a pretty nice first lap for himself. Looks like a mid-30s, so a 33 coming out. It's a pretty decent first lap there on Dark Moon.
Atomic's going into that final lap. He's almost out of it.
Yeah. Right. So all these last, I think, 4 courses all have really, really tough terrain. The terrain on Space Dust, Walrus Cove, Everfrost Peak, and Dark Moon are so harsh. And then from here, we have less courses with super harsh terrain. There are a few, but there's way less than just like stacking them all right at the beginning. And even Greenwood Village has a couple of weird spots, but like this whole like crater field, like those hitboxes are a lot bigger than you think they are.
That's definitely true. And it looks like Atomic's having a little bit of a rougher time getting through here. So I was trying to boost around with those walls, and they're weirder and tighter turns. Look, Dark Moon Caverns are very just a deceptive course.
Yeah, I'm getting caught on the wall, unable to kind of escape, kind of constantly getting slung onto the wall. So he ended up losing his blue balloon on lap 1. We're not going to see, the only 2 balloons we're going to see used by either player is going to be a shield balloon or a blue balloon. Sometimes you'll see people shoot rockets, but those aren't like super necessary. That's just if you feel like it.
Yeah, and depending on the course, it can generate a little bit of extra lag, which sometimes can benefit you on.
Perhaps, yeah. Definitely. My personal favorite is shooting 10 balloons off on Crescent Island to generate lag.
Yep.
And that's just because you're mad at your course not going well.
On that course.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
So, Star City, we have Chloral moving towards lap 3. He's having really nice time on that lap. Got a 23.80. His first lap, I think, might have been either a high 24 or a low 25.
Definitely solid time coming from Chloral in this map.
Yep. So now we're going to have the final city section, and he's going to end what looks to be a very good Star City. He's going to end up with a 1:14.
The very solid time. Star City is definitely one of my favorite courses, like just aesthetically.
Yeah. You can see just how much these courses have separated the players. They are exactly one Star City apart. And we're barely... We're probably about halfway through almost. We're like nearing the halfway mark on the timers. Like these early courses are so long that once that like from here there's pretty much mostly short tracks left. The only real non-short track left is Windmill Plains.
Yeah, that one's definitely a long one. When we get to the Down Domain Trophy, those courses are gonna just disappear.
Oh yeah, and the only track really in there that could be a place where you can really lose a lot would probably be Fossil Canyon. I mean, you can lose a lot in Jungle Falls as well, but
yeah, definitely a lot easier to do that in Fossil Canyon.
Yeah. So 2 doubles for Chloral here on Spaceport Alpha. There is a shortcut on this track, but Kart does not use it because it is slower because of the balloon usage in the laser room. Good job on Chloral to go wider because there's usually traps on the inner part of that section. All 3 vents were very solid. We see Atomic finishing up his Star City. He's going to get a
122 or 123.
Yeah, 123. Chloral had a double bonk there. I believe he might have gotten the triple, but just bonked. With the last balloon, he bonked into one pillar, and then he kind of just drove into another because it was still pushing him forward. As we now see Atomic entering Spaceport Alpha himself. See how he takes his first vent. As we see, a bit of a rough one. He is very stuck there. All right, he managed to get up and out.
Getting that vent in car is honestly really rough. Because the entire vent isn't fully covered by that like air draft. So if you get hit in that corner like Atomic did, you can just kind of drop. It becomes very difficult to get out of there.
Chloral had an extremely rough lap 1 here on Haunted Woods. He bonked into the tree and he just kind of head bonked. So he kept running into so he was just like sitting kind of facing perpendicular to where you'd want to actually face. He's just stuck in the big tree on lap 1, so it's not going to be as good as he'd like, but it will be a low 50s, so it's a 50 flat. Atomic is on lap 2. He got hit a nice second vent. I think like you said, that main little like bonking in that little area on lap 1 in the vent, that was probably the only real bad part that you could bonk, as Chloral does a very nice jump on lap 1 of Windmill Plains. This is honestly one of my favorite card tracks. Especially the jump. The jump is really cool.
Because you can sail pretty far in a car.
Atomic again having a rough vent. What you mainly want to be doing in that vent is you mainly want to be... he got the triple. But he lost the balloon.
Didn't get that.
So he had the triple balloons. He just wasn't able to use the last one. It's Chloral getting a lot of air, but just a little too close to the wall on the angle. He's now Atomic will go to his favorite card track. Sorry, go ahead.
Because using that third balloon in that laser section would have been a rough choice just because he wasn't able to fully set up that angle. If he had used that, it probably would have launched him into a wall and gotten him stuck for longer. So I think not using it is actually the smarter option there for him.
True. I think if he was going to use it, I think he would have used it like after he went or going up the hill into the tunnel, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Asbo uses that strat. Where he uses double and then he'll use the last one to fly into inside the actual tunnel itself afterwards. Yep, good. It looks like Chloral's having a good 133 Windmill Plains. That's a very good time. Atomic making his way through Haunted Woods, which
he had a pretty rough first lap.
Yeah, it's definitely he's a bit rusty, but definitely I know it's one of his better car tracks in general, one of his better tracks when he is in practice. But a rough 57. You can just see like I know that Atomic will definitely do better in the tournament. He's just, hasn't been practicing a whole lot.
Right. A busy time of year for a lot of people, so
definitely, yeah. So
if we can.
Yeah, and this is just supposed to be all for fun. This isn't, sure. It's a competition, but it is for fun.
Yeah. I mean, there is $500 on the line, paid directly from Sweener Dog. So.
Oh, there is. I didn't know that. I had no clue there was any paid. I just did it because I wanted.
Oh no, there's not. There's not. No, I just.
Thanks, buddy. All right, yeah, you got me good. 45 from Chloral. Making Sweener sweat over there as he's restreaming this, huh?
Yeah. Pretty solid second lap on Atomic.
That was his first lap. That was a rough first lap, but looking to go into a solid second lap here. He had a little bit of issues with the water near the water in the beginning, the first water that you can go on. And there's a salt cure jump from Chloral. It was successful in that he touched the zipper, but I think he had just lost a little too much speed for it to be like as fast as it could be. Yeah. So his lap 1 is a 25. Still a good lap nonetheless. All right, we're going to see Chloral does salt cure jump on attempts on all laps, which is really risky, but he's doing it well enough where he's not getting really punished for it besides not hitting the zipper.
Mm-hmm. And even when he's not hitting the zipper like we saw in that second lap, like he's still launching off those hills. And
I see. He opted to use the balloon up in the air instead of when you're on the ground. Some players will opt to do it when you're will opt to use that blue balloon down the hill once you've landed on the ground. But Chloral opted to use it on the floor or up in the air, and he got a 1:11 Frosty Village, a very solid time. We see Atomic moving into Snowball Valley as we have Treasure Caves from Chloral. They are quite a few tracks apart, but that football players, like Jack is saying, doing well for the level that they are at. Chloral has been practicing a lot and has been doing very well and already has a couple of races under his belt. So Atomic is getting back into things. But still having a pretty good snowball. Could probably match Chloral's snowball of a 45 here.
Awesome. We'll be close.
Yeah, he should be able to get it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he is going to match a 45. It might be a higher decimal, but keeping up with Chloral is really good there. As Atomic went to go for Crescent Island when. Instead of going over to Frosty Village, so a slight menuing error. All right, and now we see Crescent Island from Chloral. He had a 40 on Treasure Caves. Very, very short track.
Very satisfying, though.
Oh yeah, when it goes right, it's really satisfying. When it goes wrong, it feels really bad.
Yeah.
Yep. Ooh, a little bit of a rough hill section there for Atomic. Ooh, a 22 lap. It's quite good. That is very, very, very good for a first lap on Crescent Island. As Chloral opted to use a more risky strat of just going for a quick double B turn here. He slowed down here on lap 2. He probably didn't get the boost that he wanted. Because if you get a certain boost, it's a bit easier, I believe, to actually get. Actually kind of go a little bit faster through the shortcut section at the end. Mm-hmm. All right, Atomic.
Shortcut. Like, it looks like there's a lot of space, but there's really not, especially at high speed.
Yeah. Oh man, Atomic, I think,
a rough time
used the boost and kind of ended up drifting into the wall, it looked like. Gonna have nice time going through the rest of Frosty Village. Oh man. Just barely drove to the right of that zipper, and it's going to get a really rough 127 as we see Chloral now into the trophy race. He's on a good pace for this run. Somewhere in the 21s, Chloral will get very likely.
Ancient Lake is probably one of the most consistent tracks for just about anybody. It's one of those courses that everybody's played a billion times.
Yep. So And if this goes really well, this could end up being a PB, but I don't know. Fossil Canyon has to go pretty well here for a chance for Coral to really get a nice PB. And because that has to account menuing time on top of the track times that he gets. Nice boost there, allows him to skip the zippers and go right over for the pond jump.
It's a really clean pond jump too. Depending on how you hit that hill on the other side of the lake, you can kind of bounce in a direction.
Yeah.
You can set that up pretty nicely.
Yep. Oh wow, a nice 20.9 lap to start. A very nice canyonless on lap 1.
Atomic having a bit of a rough time just with the computer characters kind of getting stuck all around the front of him. Got a nice boost, but he couldn't get around.
Okay. That's always rough, yep.
Because with the like rubber banding or even the good AI and the computers are more, obstacles.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. So AI in this game with no rubber banding, as Drax said, kind of just an obstacle eventually.
Especially at the paces that these racers are going, and they almost look like they're not even moving.
Wow, this is good pace. Chloro's looking at a PB, possibly, depending on how well this JF goes.
Chloro's moving to that final course. JF is a really nice, satisfying course. It's not a very long one, just like the rest of the down domains. There's a lot of boost, especially that jump right there. Always looks really nice. Solid 13th first.
Yeah, so Chloro's PB is the 21:32. If this looks like he can easily beat that, he's going to get a 21:20s actually.
Atomic having a rough time on that last turn in Crescent Island.
It's a nasty turn. When you're really good, it makes it look really nice. Oh yeah, look at this. Boom, 21:27. That's PB, as far as I know. Might have PB'd yesterday as well, like after the races. Oh, Atomic.
That turn, I'm not gonna lie, it sucked. It's so bad. Like, I don't judge him at all for struggling with that turn, because that one is
It all comes down to timing. A lot of players, especially myself, I will for sure when I'm trying to be safe there, I will cut my speed completely just to make sure I get it. It does cost me time for RTA, but it's better than kind of really messing up bad. For sure. So yeah, GG's to Chloral for winning this one. Atomic is going to get a much better car time than his practice race. He had a 20. I believe he got a 25 in his practice, and this looks like it's going to be a 20. Looks like it's going to be a 24. So de-rusting out in a race, de-rusting like a 1 minute or so, like PB is real nice. For sure. And I expect that Atomic will be getting down into the 23s. Or even 22 by the end of the tournament.
And I really want to stress like how difficult, like a vehicle percent run is, especially in the courses that aren't designed for vehicle. Yep. So, we saw bonks and some struggles. Saw a difference between the two races, but on both of these races are very highly skilled, and it showed off a lot of talent with what they.
Yeah. All right.
Canyonless, bonks the wall a little bit, but still right next to that blue balloon to be able to pick back up that speed. That's one nice thing about car is the acceleration is really good. So if you bonk on the side, it doesn't make a whole lot of trouble because you can just tap it to get back up to speed.
Yep, for sure.
Not like plane. If you breathe.
No, plane. If you bonk in plane really hard, nope.
It's game over.
It is 6 seconds plus loss.
Yep.
If you front bonk in car, you'll lose probably about 1.5 to 2 seconds, depending on how hard you bonk. And in hover, if you front bonk, it's also really bad too. But Atomic getting some good pond jumps there. Man, that was such a weird angle, but he was able to make it work. Honestly,
flipped in cleanly to get into that little tunnel area. Yeah,
so he's gonna finish here with a 109. Looks like we're looking at a mid 24 for Atomic.
Just have to see how this Jungle Falls goes.
Yeah, mid to high, depending on his time. Yeah, I expect Atomic will get somewhere between 39 and 45. With the 14th first lap, that makes sense.
Pretty solid first lap.
Oh yeah.
We see him not opting to go for the bananas on the side of the bridge. That's a much more difficult way to go about it, to try to get those bananas. A lot of drift changes while nearly mid-air for half of it.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're going for it in a race, you just can't. Like, you can try to go for it, but it's just pretty tough. But he will finish with a 24:48. Very good time.
Definitely
a good second, like pretty much I think it's second run ever of Kart percent. So that's a good time.
I definitely.
And Chloral, I mean, just showing a master class in how to play car with a 21:27, PBing, I believe well, he'll tell me how much he PBs by when we get in here. When they come in, so
definitely bringing a lot of
tag both players.
Definitely bringing a lot of excuse me, a lot of those time trial skills to really put on.
Don't know if we have too much time for a PB. Because we do have plenty more matches to go today, so might get him in here for a quick PB, like a few minutes before. Hello, Chloral.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I believe, is that another PB, or did you get another one after?
Yeah, it's my third PB in this tournament.
Nice. Yep. Hello, Atomic.
Hello.
Hey, Atomic. Yeah, I got a 4.5 seconds PB.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah. And the start was a little bit rough. The Greenwood Village was not that good as expected, and Walrus Cove, I lost all the balloons, but yeah, I got a good time improvement on Star City. That was my own PB2 for 5 seconds, and
nice.
Yeah, I got red numbers after Snowball Valley. I was 2 seconds behind, but Frosty Village, Treasure Caves, and Crescent Island.
Yeah, they were all really good.
Yeah, definitely very clean, very solid. From both runners, this is a really, really solid.
Yeah, and I know that Atomic, that's a pretty chunky PB for you in a second run in your first race.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, obviously no stranger to this game, but new to car percent. So those first tracks those 3 after the first one must have felt real weird.
Yeah, like I felt like my end game was pretty good, but I felt so far behind at the starts. Everfrost Peak especially just kicks my butt. And
GP's tough.
Yeah, I had a really bad Walrus Cove as well. I had 6 ice bounces or something.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I saw that. I was just like, oh no, this is bad. Like, Walrus Cove is a tough course when you're coming back. Like, I'm sure you'll get used to it again. But
I just need a little more practice again.
Oh yeah.
I think I can bring it down to like a 22 or something.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. I said that. I said that for sure. You're like 22 capable. Like in the tournament. Like, and if you keep going after, you can definitely bring it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Also, thank you guys for obviously racing for us, and congrats to both of you on PBs, and to Chloral on the win.
Thank you.
And I believe after this, we're actually going to have a full team race between, I believe it's initial DKR and, is it DDA? No, I don't think so. I have to look at the schedule.